Hey guys, it's Danny, and today I'm going to be reviewing the iPad 2nd generation, which I have right here. This is the iPad 2nd gen. As you can see, pretty dirty. I'll clean this soon enough. This is the iPad 2nd generation that we've had for about what is it now, 9 years now. My dad bought this in 2012, and today I'm going to be reviewing this and seeing how good this thing does in 2021. So without further ado, let's get into it. So start off with the design. This is one of the most iconic features of this iPad here. This thing has you have your like a 2 megapixel camera or like 3 megapixel camera right here, power on button, your mute switch, which you don't have in iPads anymore, your volume rockers, which is pretty cool, and then you have your antenna band, your little microphone, 3.5mm headphone jack, your SIM card slot, nothing here on the side, nothing there, your 30-pin connector, your iPad logo, and your speaker with a black Apple logo, which is pretty reflective. This is a pretty good iPad, and they have a laser engraving here that says property of my dad's name, which is pretty good. And overall, this iPad seems pretty, huge. It's like a 9.7-inch display, so it's about 11 inches in total. But still, you can see the screen kind of froze on me, but still, so it is not laminated. So there's a pretty big gap here, and it doesn't feel like I'm touching the pixels that much. But like, you have your home button, it's actually clickable. Then you have like a 3.4-inch, like it's not even an inch of thick bezel on the sides, and then you have on the home button like a good inch, or right here, a inch of bezel. And here you have a camera. You have your little camera, front-facing camera. You have your microphone, which doesn't really work that much for some reason. Doesn't really work, and so yeah, it doesn't really work. But still, you can't even turn this off because I accidentally dropped it when I was a little kid down the stairs, and it broke. So yeah, it was really sad. But yeah, but the specs, just really quickly, the specs don't really matter, but still, it is people care about the specs, but now important back then, but still, here it is, the specs. It is 16 gigabytes of storage, starting 16, all the way 64. We got the maxed out version. The display is 9.7 inch, 512 megabytes of RAM, pretty good. LED backlight, 1024 x 768, which is pretty good. Apple A5 chip, 1 gigahertz of power, and then it has camera back, it's 920p, as I said before. And it has a 6,390 mAh battery, which is pretty good. The battery life here, it's good, surprisingly, but it's not the greatest. It's good. This can definitely last you a day if you use it for like an hour, 3, but I use it for 4. It's just dead at the end of the day. And it doesn't even have when you charge it, this doesn't even have that charging mode because this iPad, I threw it down the stairs, as I said before, and it broke. And so my uncle tried to repair it, and he did something wrong by accident, and all of that happened. This doesn't even have Wi-Fi reception, but so yeah, it's pretty sad. Design, it's iconic, it's decent, but it's really thick. It's 8.8 millimeters thick, and it's like, this thing is, this thick. I'm not sure if you guys can see. This thing is pretty thick, still pretty big, chunky. This thing has like the YouTube logo from like, the actual YouTube logo, like the nowadays one. So it's pretty thick. Performance is decent, but not the greatest. The screen just froze on me. So I can still access all of my photos here. We have tons of photos of me being a little kid, and me being wild and savage. This is me as a little kid. And so yeah, so the performance, loading each photo is actually surprisingly really fast. Since iCloud back then wasn't really a thing, it launched the year this iPad launched, but since my dad just didn't want to move everything to iCloud, just kept his Mac thingy, like the Mac account. So we have all of our photos on our iPad. And every single video we have is is in the iPad, so it's really good. So you can see, stranger. This is hail falling on our house. Yeah, we speak Spanish really good. But still, you can see here. This is the actual iPad. Still pretty relevant here. I'll probably like the screen froze me, but still, it's really good. Performance here, not the greatest. This thing doesn't allow for Wi-Fi. YouTube doesn't work. You have your old Dropbox logo, this Dropbox logo right here, up there, in case you didn't know. You have your Keynote, your Minecraft PD, alarm clock, your old Apple News widget, thing, and then you have your notifications you have here. You have your widgets. You actually have widgets here, which is pretty cool. Here's the widgets right there, pretty cool. And then you have no event scheduled for tomorrow, notifications, just all my notifications from. We have Pandora here for some, I don't know why we have Pandora, but I mean, hey, it's a pretty nice touch and all of that stuff here. I gotta say, like, this A5 chip has still held it up really well. The iPad is kind of hefty though because of the extra thickness. On here you got your SIM card, but still, it is overall a pretty nice iPad. Getting to the settings here, you have pretty you have iOS 9.1. You have all your classic settings. You have cellular data. We have it off. So we don't have a SIM card. We have notifications, control center, this is the old control center. This does not have AirDrop, sadly. This is the old notification center. And the screen here is actually pretty decent, I guess. The pixels, you can definitely see pixels print. Not the sharpest, not the greatest, but it was doable back then. Over a little bit over 720p-ish. Not not the greatest thing ever, but still, it was pretty good back then, I guess. And you have to not disturb. Wallpapers, your classic iCloud wallpapers. You have your stills. You have all of these really cool wallpapers back then, which actually look passable today. You have your sounds. You have your passcode, which I don't know, we don't want passcode. You have battery life. You have battery percentage and the status bar, which is about it. Usage standby. You got your iCloud, but we don't really use it. We do use it, but like back then, my dad didn't really want to just change to iCloud, so he just kept this Mac thing. You have all of that stuff. FaceTime. This thing actually did have FaceTime. And one thing that the photos from this thing were actually decent. Still a little bit. Oh wow, the screen unfroze. Yay. So you have all of your stuff here. We have tons of apps. You have Minecraft. You have stuff like here, like Cross, all of those stuff over there. And you even have games and all those stuff. And then here you have for your photos, they're pretty good. Sadly, I did not able to pass them, so but they are pretty passable. Let me just get a good photo of me, because I took tons of photos when I was a little kid. I took photos of me diving in the air for some reason, because I like soccer, and I still do. So, and I thought I was, a great goalkeeper. So it was really funny. But here, let me just try to find a good photo. This is in terrible, this is like in daylight, it's like in warm lighting conditions. This camera doesn't do that much goodness, but it still does it fairly well. As you can see here, kind of weird though. Not the greatest looking photo, but I mean, still works. We took tons of photos. We always do take lots of photos though. And I gotta say, running games here, which it actually still supports Minecraft, but I know like the old version. The A5 does a really good job. Even without Wi-Fi, this thing does a really good job. Battery life, I said before, not the greatest. Still, you can kill us in a day with hard work. Like actually playing games, stuff like that. But overall, it's a pretty good thing. And of course, you get all your iOS features. No AirDrop really, and YouTube is not even supported anymore, sadly, because it's not really supported. Okay, you have to update it, and I don't want to update it, and so yeah, it's not supporting. It's offline. Actually, it does work here, but it's just offline, and so just stuff like that still works. So you have your Gmail, you have your books, you have your Skype things, and overall, this iPad did a pretty decent job here. Not the greatest, but I mean, it does the job. Still, this is how far tech has advanced. There's like a speed iPad, or through the iPhone SE second generation, which I'm recording on, by the way. And this is my grandma's iPhone. And you have all your stuff here, your music, your alarm clock, and you don't even you have your widgets and the notification bouncing up and down when you open. It's just classic Apple right there. And still, how far we've come in tech with these fast bionic chips. All of these things, fast speed chips, we kind of take that for granted when back then this thing was, the top of the line thing that Apple had to offer us. But that's just how far tech has come in the past few years. So it is overall a pretty good iPad. So the software is kind of it's 9.1, I guess. It's iOS 9.2 actually. It cannot have iOS 10. So yeah, and we only have 12 gigabytes available actually. You have Bluetooth. This support Bluetooth 2.1. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my review of this iPad second generation. It's part of my Apple throwback series. So it's gonna be a really fun day. I already have the playlist open. It's gonna be my next video in the playlist. If you want to check it out, it'll be right over here. Well, that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching my review, and I'll see you next time.